I've marked for my hardware, and today what I'm going to be using is a combination of pulleys, a cord lock, and a screw eye. There's several different ways that you can do this, and I'll start by threading from the bottom of the shade. And I'm using this tan lift cord to make it easier to see. I'll just go ahead and pull that through. Now for easy adjusting, you can use an orb. This is just a spring-loaded tension device that we use at the bottom of the shade. The cord slips through there like so. I'll go ahead and put that on each one. When you cut your cords, you want to make sure that they're plenty long enough. Unlike our soft shade clutch system, which requires the cord only to go from the bottom to the top of the mechanism, you have to plan out for enough cord from the bottom ring all the way up to the top, over to the cord lock, and then down to the side where you're going to have the operating cord. So it does require a little bit more cord than if you use a clutch system. I'll go ahead and string this last one. You want to keep your top rings about 5 to 6 inches from the top of the shade too. I'm going to fold this up so I can flip the board up. Now, I talked in another video about installing your board. This particular shade, I've got the top of the shade here. This will install flat against the wall, and that allows for a nice low profile. So we're going to be installing these cord locks on the bottom. The cord lock will go over here. The way I've got this laid out, you'll notice that we have 2 openings on the cord lock. There's a smaller one and a larger one, and all of our cord locks are like that. I also want to point out, and this is very important, some manufacturers recommend taking these wires out to thread your cord lock. Our cord locks are not designed to remove the wires, so if you do remove the wires, you will not be able to use it. You'll have to actually purchase another cord lock. So very important, do not remove the wires. And you'll lay this out so that the wider hole, the larger hole, goes where your major part of your cords are, and then the single cord that comes up along the side will feed through there. Now how I'm going to lay this out, I'll have a pulley here. I'll also put another pulley for the middle cord. And if I wanted to, I could put a pulley here, but then I would have to move my cord lock in. So I've decided that I'm going to use our screw eye driver and put the screw eye over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the pulleys and the screw eye installed, and then I'm going to thread the cord lock before I actually screw it to the board. I'll go ahead and get that done. I also want to point something out too, that the bases of our cord locks and pulleys are flexible. And if I pull, you can see that this will actually pull out. If I pull hard enough on that, on the base, you can see where that's pulling out. I want to point out the way that I'm installing this. As you can see, this pulley can lay perfectly flat. And the little bar here that connects the 2 edges of the base, that should be the farthest away from the shade. So when this is installed, that bar will actually be closest to the back of the board. And this is important, especially when you install. You're less likely to have that pulling apart of the base if you do it this way. Okay, I'll get that. You can see how this lays down. If I had it the other way, it wouldn't lay completely flat. So this helps with that pulling away. And I put the left screw in first, and then I'll go ahead and I'll put the right one in. And then I'll change the driver here, and I'll put my screw eye driver in. Now I'll go ahead and start stringing this, and you'll notice too from the shade, I'll pull this up here so you can see, when you lay this out, you want to make sure that where your rings are, that's where the edge of the pulley is. I don't want this pulley too far over to either side. I want to be able to insert the cord so that when I pull this, everything lines up in a nice straight line. So I'll go ahead and I'll put this through the second pulley. And then this cord goes right through the same pulley. And then this one will go through our screw eye. Okay, I want to make sure when I install this that the smaller hole is closer to my single cord, and the larger opening here will be the opening that we put the other cords in. So if I were to put this on, you'll notice that this bar here is going to be in the way. So what I'm going to do is actually open this up and flip it around like so. This is a very versatile cord lock. You won't harm it to do that, but in doing that, what I've done is flipped this so that the larger opening is on this side with this bar of the base toward the back, and there's the smaller opening. So I'll go ahead and I'll screw that down, but I'm not going to do it yet.